Hello everyone, welcome to my second Death Valley Discovery hike. For this one, we've just left Highway 190 behind and have begun hiking into the foothills of the Funeral Mountains. I'm here with my family and we're going to be visiting a place which I nicknamed the Crack. So our first objective, this small bare hill in the distance, we're hiking toward the left tip of it to get around it. A little bit of challenging terrain here with a lot of rocks. So we've reached the tip of the hillside, and this is our view looking back toward the Panamint Mountains. Telescope Peak currently covered by clouds. We're continuing to round this hillside and have a glimpse of the terrain ahead. As we continue hiking toward the Crack, let me tell you a little bit more about it. It's a place that I first discovered on February 21st, 2014, hiking out here with my family after seeing something interesting on satellite imagery that I wanted to check out. But I named it the Crack because it's literally a 1.5 mile long crack in the foothills of the Funeral Mountains. And this crack is a very narrow, long, shallow slot canyon. So that's where the name originated from. We're now going to veer away from this hillside and head straight in that direction toward the next set of hillsides that we see. Been seeing some footprints here along the route from other hikers. Now, even though this is a hike that I created back in 2014, others heard about it and have been doing it since, because it is a very nice, interesting place, and it's also fairly easy to get there and carry it out as long as you're good at route finding. While navigating from one set of foothills to the next, got to try to navigate a maze of drainages and avoid hiking across terrain like that where it's rocky and nasty, and try to find a nice sandy wash like right here. As you can see here, we've ran out of nice sandy wash, kind of walking along just this rocky area. So kind of bouncing back and forth between washes and rocky terrain. Let's take a look for a moment at the views here. This is looking back toward Tuckeye Mountain and the Trellis Canyon Fan. Then again into the central Panamints. And there's the first hillside we passed by earlier. Middle hillside and the further hillside which we're heading towards. Kind of the low spot or center there. I noticed hiking up, the route up was kind of divided into two sections. The first section or half had very easy, nice terrain, sandy wash. And the second half had a lot of drainage crossings and walking on rocks. But now we are in the main wash and it's a lot easier leading up to the mouth of the Crack in just a couple minutes. The Crack is named because it's kind of a crack or dividing point between these two hillsides, the one on the right and the one on the left here. So the Crack runs through the middle of these. And look at this nice wash as we approach the mouth of the Crack just ahead. This is the mouth of the canyon, and from an outside perspective, it doesn't look like there's anything here. It doesn't look like there's going to be much to check out. But surprises are in store soon. I'm standing here at the mouth of the crack. This is where the canyon begins. So it was about 2 miles to get to this point, and then we can hike through the canyon about 1.5 miles. But what's going to be especially interesting is checking out the sandstone. Canyon is taking shape. Right here, even before the first narrows, just some incredible tilted, uplifted rock. Look at the shapes here. This is such an incredible place. This is the official start to the first narrows of the crack. Look at this incredible passageway ahead. Look at this really flat surface here on this rock, this canyon wall. Very cool spot here in the canyon. There's Stefan and Daria climbing out of the first narrows, small dry fall. We have finished the first narrows and the canyon has opened up a little bit. Just before we got into the first narrows, we encountered 2 other hikers that were coming out of the crack. So that was kind of unexpected because this hike is not that well known. But when I asked them how they heard about this place, they said it was from me, from my former website I had online of Death Valley hikes. So it was kind of neat to see the impact I was making, the difference in sharing Death Valley and helping people learn about hikes they didn't know about. The second narrows are just starting. The canyon remains shallow as it does throughout. Let's head into these second narrows and see how they compare to the first. Incredible layers of rock. Look at the way the sandstone is wedged in the middle of this conglomerate rock. sandstone layer all the way down to the wash. There is always something interesting to see around each corner here in the crack. The second narrows have been very nice. Tight through here. Okay, we've exited the second narrows, and now we have the most spectacular third narrows to look forward to. About 500 feet from now they will get started. So you can see we've got some sun filtering into the crack. So we're in this little bit of an open area. The first, second, and third narrows, spaced between them, there are some brief open sections. Really neat curve in the canyon here. We've reached the first junction or split in the canyon. That's a side canyon to the right. And the main canyon, the crack continues to the left. Very neat color to this rock we found in the wash. Had a bit of an open section there before these narrows resume right here. Back into some nice looking canyon. Each one of these sections of narrows has a different character to it. Bit of a boulder jam climb right here. You can see Stefan climbing up it. We came out into another open area and reached a second major junction. That's the left fork. We're going to stay here in the right fork, which is the main canyon. At that junction, that marks about 1 mile into the crack. Now there's about 1/2 a mile left of hikeable canyon. This is an interesting spot because you have 2 layers of sandstone with conglomerate rock in between that has eroded away. So you're kind of just left with 2 layers of sandstone. Starting to see some more expansive sandstone layers kind of taking over the canyon here. And we're passing by a third fork. At this third fork or junction, we're staying left. Here's a little bit of a sandstone dry fall, just draining that little fork up there. You can see some mud drips right here. We've exited the narrows. As you can see the hillsides all around. Canyon's very open now. This right here is a good turnaround and stopping point. When you reach this pinnacle here on the left, not sure how long that will stand. Could collapse at any time, but there's another junction here and we're pretty much done with the canyon narrows. Right here is a pretty neat looking little cave that an animal has tunneled out. Goes way back in there. Right here at this pinnacle junction, this is 3.5 miles from the parking spot. Very good turnaround spot, as I mentioned. But what to do from here? You can turn around, go back down the crack, or as we're about to do, you could head up the hillside on to the south and walk along that. So that's what we're going to do, turn this into a little bit of a loop hike today. We're going to go ahead and climb up on the ridge right here and just see what it looks like from there and choose a route. Here's the view of the end of the crack, or the head of the canyon. Actually wasn't very far at all from that turnaround spot. We climbed up onto this plateau and we're going to cross it and head toward the summit of that hillside in the distance. So the view from the plateau here, this is as close as we're getting to the Funeral Mountains range area. Some greenery as we're just walking along this plateau, crossing a couple of drainages. All these drainages we're passing by are just different forks of the crack as they branch off of the main canyon and head up toward the range. We are walking straight toward the tip of that hillside in the distance along this plateau. The plan is to go ahead and climb that and have even greater views. Looking here from up above, this is looking down at the main canyon, the crack. You can see where it got its name right here. Truly a crack in this hillside, forming a slot canyon. We are just about to this small hill that we're going to climb to the base of it, the backside of it. This should be a very short, easy climb, leading to some real good views. We made it to the top of the hill, and there are just some tremendous views up here. There's kind of 3 little summit bumps. So I'm going to check out the views from each spot and show you what it looks like. Here's the view looking to the east, back into the Funeral Mountains. Indian Pass Canyon is straight ahead in that direction. Continuing on looking toward Keen Wonder Mine and Chloride Cliffs area. And then over into the Grapevine Mountains. You can see Corkscrew Peak right there. And these are the views looking toward the west. Got the Kit Fox Hills, the Mesquite Dunes, Salt Creek area, Tuckeye Mountain and Trellis Canyon, Cotton Ball Marsh, and on into the Salt Basins, Furnace Creek, and the Black Mountains. Making our way down this hillside. We're just coming down off that hill, and it's leading us back down to the main wash. We made it down from that big hillside. It was a lot easier going up the backside than it was coming back down here the front side, because the terrain got a bit steeper. So that little side loop is not for everyone. It's only for those who have good scrambling skills and don't mind hiking on some steep, loose rock. One thing I noticed about coming down from that hillside route is that there's been a perfect wash the whole way. No walking on rocks, just a sandy wash. We're almost back to the vehicle, Highway 190, but something's going on here to the right. Take a look at this. It's a huge sandstorm coming in to Central Death Valley. We've got to get out of here quick. Well, that's going to do it for our hike of the crack. My second Death Valley discovery video. More to come, I have to share with you in the future. The crack is a little bit more than 7 miles round trip to see those sandstone narrows. And some may want to do the loop that we did, but only for those who can handle that type of scrambling, hiking up hillsides. Otherwise, it's best to do an out and back of the crack. All right, catch you later, everyone. And as we approach our vehicle, I'll leave you with this sandstorm. We're just barely gonna miss this blowing in and covering us completely with sand.